at the conference table.
Guru's great too.
Welcome to The Executive Show.
Nothing easy.
On 95.7 The Game. Brought to you by Yellow Sack. Try a dumpster bag for easy waste removal. Less mess, reduce stress. Budget friendly, clean freely. Call 833-3YELLOW or go to yellowsack.com.
All righty, let's get right into it. He's been joining us all season long. He's been a lot of fun, very informative. Zaza Pachulia, it is The Executive Show. What's going on, Zaza? How you doing, buddy?
Well, this is the time of the year. My favorite, to be honest, always been, and obviously tensions and conversations are different too. Probably you guys can feel it, and I'm sure definitely the media and social media you can see it, right? And they're playing the one team multiple times, and adjustments are made and a lot of conversation around it. Not only with our series, just any series. I think it's so balanced league we have, and games we see so interesting. And like I say, I'm loving it.
Let me ask you this, Zaza. I'll kind of just get right to it. Draymond's going to be out tomorrow for Game 3. You guys have made your organization has supported Draymond throughout the years. He's a vital member of your team. I guess what I'm wondering is, and you can take this anywhere you want, but when you hear the decision yesterday, Zaza Pachulia, a guy who knows Draymond from way back, are you disappointed, more disappointed in Draymond or the decision? Or how do you look at it?
Well, definitely not disappointed in Draymond because, if I'll be fortunate to play, not only know him, but play with him, and I went to, in the details, right? So I've seen highs and lows, and we share the locker room, we share so many amazing moments together. So I know his intention is to help the team to win a game. I mean, that's not negotiable, all right? So, like it or don't, the guy did so much for this organization, for this franchise, and the reason why we're talking about, championships that we are so proud of, build the, success on and off the court is, and Draymond Green is a huge, huge reason, right? And that's not negotiable, right? So now it comes with Draymond, is everybody, everyone perfect? No, that's not the case, right? And I wish we were not talking about suspension. I wish we were not dealing with it. But at the same time, I know his every move is to help the team and to help this organization to win and bring another championship for Dub Nation, Bay Area, and Golden State Warriors.
Zaza, let me ask you. Oh,
go ahead.
Oh, my bad. Let me ask you this, because you played. Now, I left out of work yesterday about 2 p.m., and Draymond hadn't been suspended. And I got home and had my dinner. I'm like, okay, he's not going to. So I'm over here still shocked at the timing of it and why it was so late. But I got to be honest with you. I would never second guess Coach Kerr. But I look at Jonathan Kuminga in the rotations from last game, a young player like JK, 4 minutes, Zaza. So now there is no Draymond. Walk us through what Kuminga has to do to get ready. Do the coaches come talk to him? Do the leaders? What goes on with getting Kuminga or the others who got to replace what Draymond brings?
Yeah, first of all, I was surprised with the decision, to be honest. And, I was not expecting, especially after, Draymond throwing out, getting framed and foul and throwing out from the game. I thought that was it, but I was surprised with League's decision. But it is what it is. I mean, League decided already, so there's no point for me to say anything about it. But regarding rotations, Guru, if you look at it, and even when I was playing, there were core guys were getting consistent minutes, right? It was Steph, Clay, it was Draymond, right? It was Andre. So the core guys were getting consistent minutes. And rest, Steve always likes, throwing the guys throughout the season in every stretch of a couple of days, couple of weeks, couple of games where you're getting consistent minutes as a role player, and then the things might change next month. Obviously, the matchups is in it, the reason, as well as he was trying to keep everyone engaged, involved, in shape mentally and physically for the playoffs, because he likes to use different lineups and different matchups and different players and against different teams. So we've seen this story. Kuminga, if you remember, when season started, he was not getting consistent minutes.
Right.
He got into rotation. So, I know it's not easy for the player to deal with. At least for me, I always like to get consistent minutes. I knew what time I was going in. I knew what time I was getting out. That way I kind of arrange my energy and focus in that period of time, right? So I know it's not easy, but Steve has been doing that. So it's not new for any player that, it may be a 4 minutes first game, but, here we are talking about, injuries happen. And, obviously this kind of things, maybe not as much as suspensions, but, I think Kuminga, even though he's young, he understands this is the chance for him that if he's going to get more minutes, how many minutes he's going to get, he needs to bring it because this is the playoff basketball. And not only Kuminga, but it goes to any player.
Zaza Pachulia joining us on 95.7 The Game. It's the executive show. Let me just ask you a little bit about moving forward defensively without Draymond. And I didn't realize this, but the last 6 minutes of that game, it was 93-93, and then they scored on 9 of 11 possessions. And the one they didn't score on was when Peyton turned it over in the backcourt. The other one they didn't score on, Sabonis had a follow right up. I guess what I'm saying is there was clearly a connection between having trouble getting stops and Draymond leaving. Now you got to play a whole game without him. How do you make up for that?
Yeah, good question. Obviously, there's something that Steve, Steve's question,
sure.
Right? But at the same time, one thing was
put yourself in Looney's spot, knowing because you could do that, right?
No, absolutely. Looney has, she's smart, but obviously his value is more than than before. He needs to really be careful with it, getting foul trouble, and obviously Michael Green also going to be this huge contributing, coming off the bench. It's so hard to replace Draymond, right? I mean, especially when we're talking about defensively, and that's you mentioned, last 7 minutes since he was out of the game. It's so hard to fill his space, but at the same time, it's going to take the whole team to cover Draymond and replace Draymond. It's not only going to be one guy. It's not only going to be Loon. Yeah, Loon is a huge factor because they play in a similar position, but it's going to require, starting from Steph, right? He's not known as a defensive stopper, even though he got so much better defensively. But it's from Steph to anybody else who's going to play, that it's going to be a total team effort, and that's how it's been all the time. And especially the moments like this, every possession going to matter. So that's how I look at it. That's how it's been done previously, and I'm faith in our guys that they understand and they're on the same page.
Zaza, tell me what you think of this, because the first 8 quarters of this series, and I never disrespected Sacramento, but they look a tad bit faster and more athletic man for man. What can the Warriors do to combat that? Because obviously, both the games came down to the wire, but there's just something that scares me. The Sac looks a little faster. What do you say to that?
Yeah, they look good. I mean, I'm with you. Like, I never want to disrespect, especially when you have a team that really well coached, right? And when you have a team that is young but not as young, right? So they're not like in the first and second years, even though they got a couple guys, right? But the core is being around and it's seen, a lot of things. They have good experience to me. So you never want to disrespect and take lightly. I don't think anybody did, to be honest. But they're definitely, working hard and taking advantage of the home court and the amazing crowd and amazing support they've been getting the first 2 games. But at the same time, Guru, I want to make sure, like I say this and everybody understands, it's a 7-game. Until some team wins 4, gets the 4 win, it's not over, right? So, of course, you don't want to be in the situation down to 0. And, I've been listening and hearing that, Warriors has not been, down to 0-2 for a long time. right? I mean, I understand that stats is the stats, but reality is that it's not over until somebody gets the 4 wins. And same time, with my experience, series really start game 3, so next game to me, even though we're going to be without Draymond, and I don't want to make a big deal out of this, but next game is crucial.
Right.
It's huge. It's huge. Probably the biggest game.
Wow.
Not probably, biggest game of the year that we played. So I'm excited for Thursday, especially, it's always to play at home versus on the road. Like, we couldn't be on the road in Sacramento playing game 3, but here we are, we're playing at home, that we had an amazing record. So I'm super excited and confident at the same time.
Yeah, it should be a lot of fun. Hey, Zaza, thank you so much for joining us. And, well, I'm not going to say goodbye.
No, we're going to talk to him
We'll
again.
talk to you in 2 weeks.
Sounds good to me.
All right. Zaza Pachulia, and that is the Executive Show, brought to you by Yellow Sack. Try a dumpster bag for easy waste removal, less mess, reduce stress, budget-friendly, clean freely. Call 833-3YELLOW or go to yellowsack.com.